guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka Geek XX Chic, and we are back with another episode of Agatha All Along. We're now on season 1, episode 8, which is called Follow Me, My Friend, to the Glory at the End. So the last episode was beautiful, heartbreaking, but also my favorite of the season. We got to see Lilia's trial, and we got to understand the way that her power worked and see all the different pieces of the way her timeline falls into place. And we also got a few clues as to what might be coming up in the rest of the season. But basically, we know that she is gone. At least that's the way the show has made it look, because she did return to, I'm thinking, what was her grandmother at the end. But it looks like she took out at least 5 of the 7 in her grand exit. So hopefully that's the case. And we see that there was a bunch of warnings given to Lilia, that Lilia gave to Agatha and to Jen as far as what they need to do next. So as far as who's left for the trials, who was actually in the coven, everyone has had one except for Rio at this point. And there's still a lot of debate over whether or not Billy's going to get one. I'm not sure, because he's not technically part of the coven, but lots of things we can still figure out. But the point is, I'm very excited to jump into this episode and see what this next trial is. And looking at the thumbnail, I think we're finally going to be looking at Rio. So I'm interested to see what her story is and how it relates to Agatha. So let's jump in. But just before I do, a reminder that if you'd like to be in the know of when I drop episodes, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. All right, that out of the way, let's get into the episode right now. Alice? Alice? Oh, this is just going to be Rio taking Alice's body, isn't it?
It's time to go.
Oh, it's Alice's soul.
Where?
Thanks. You deserve better, girl. I'm sorry.
That's all the time I get?
I'm sorry. Agatha's awful.
You're a protection witch.
You protect.
Yeah. You died protecting someone.
Yeah. The wrong someone, but yeah. All right, I guess we're getting to see how Rio's job works. And that's why she didn't follow Agatha after the trial. Oh, Jen, I know. Mind your hands, sweetie. I agree, sis. But unfortunately, all you girls knew when you decided to become a coven mate with Agatha, that there was a very high chance you were not leaving. Agatha's not known for having friends.
Alice, now Lilia. It's nice she took the Salem 7 with her.
Okay, so she did take them all.
Yeah, thought there'd be a trick in there somewhere. And there was.
Billy.
You were distracting me from him. He is an abomination.
You're an abomination.
He is disrupting the sacred balance.
Oh, so he could bring Alice back?
Please, I've known that kid for 2 minutes.
I watch you, Agatha,
Creepily.
just as closely as you watch everyone else. This walk with another woman's son on a road that doesn't... Stop!
Hit a nerve.
No one in history has had special treatment like you.
How? Special treatment how?
You gave me nothing. You took.
Why do you let them believe those things about you? Huh? About Nikki?
People believe bad much easier than they believe the good.
Because the truth is too awful.
I'd like to know the truth. Please?
So, Agatha's ex
I mean, it is fitting.
death.
That also makes sense.
Yeah.
Where is Agatha?
I mean, she left, as she always does.
His brother isn't out there. Not yet, anyway.
Where is he?
The son of the Scarlet Witch stole a second life. I can't let him do the same for his twin. I have to take him.
Try.
Take him.
Try. You can't.
You can't. If Billy is killed, he'll reincarnate again, and then you'll lose him. You need him to...
To?
I can get him to the finish line and deliver him to you.
In exchange for?
In exchange for...
You let me go.
You will eventually die.
She said, break up with me. God.
When I die.
Leave me alone.
Long time.
She's like, I plan to be damn near immortal, girl. Know that.
I don't want to see your face.
Damn. That is the mother of all breakups. Huh? Not her having a secret exit. What in the cheap set design? So does this mean Rio doesn't get a trial because she can leave the road when she wants?
One trial left until the big score.
Earth magic with no green witch.
We're
back to square one.
I think it's gonna be you, Billy.
Get ready for fireworks. Get ready for spectacle. Get ready for... Oh.
Yeah. Even the road said, shush! Back to your shoes. We're done?
Shoes. We're back
What'd
where
you
we
do
started.
wrong?
That's it.
Maybe we
Why
passed
are
the
you
trial.
yelling at me? You said you've been here before, girl.
How exactly do we get off?
Well, maybe
If
we...
you don't know, then keep quiet.
Wow, we are testy, Agatha. Girl, have a Snickers.
We go again. It'll work the second time.
We don't have enough people to go against.
We took them off out of respect for the road. Screw the road!
Okay. Teenagers. Full of spitfire they are. Is that a body
Hello?
bag? I was thinking, I think this is a body bag.
Hello!
What in the weird rooms?
Don't steal her struggle.
Agatha, you're so mean.
My basement. Give or take.
Your basement has more? Of course it does.
In a place with no soil or water.
Bodies can grow things.
That's better.
Just the pin out of everything. That's hilarious.
It's worthless.
Is it? You probably should have kept that.
You seem relaxed. Usually at this point, you're either complaining loudly or freaking out loudly.
She's grown, like everyone else.
Such purpose. How are you going to do that without any magic?
She saved my life. She saved you from poisoning. All while
Please,
bound.
do not take away from my sister's accomplishments. Thank you, Billy.
No, I never knew you ever passed through there, that's all.
Are you the one who bound me? I don't know. Non-stop Sophie.
I love that expression.
You know, the patriarchy really shelled out to shush a lady. It was bind or burn. Oh! Oh, God! Jim, that is my hair! What are you
Damn, that was a snatch if I ever saw one.
Nothing.
Yeah.
You hold nothing. You hold nothing.
Good girl, Jen.
You hold nothing.
Good girl.
You hold
Agatha did give it back. It's pink! Of course it is. Right before you're probably gonna die. Oh, Billy's happy for you. What?
What happened? Where did she go? She was just there. Agatha!
The road gave her what she was missing. And now she's gone.
You get what you're missing and I'm left here to rot? Or worse, take all my power.
I would.
Liar!
Tommy isn't waiting out there. It's what got Rio in such a tizzy.
Oh, not her telling the
She
truth.
knows you could do it for him.
Do what?
Give him another life.
Like you took yours.
Do you think I can bring Tommy back?
Your mom created you out of nothing. And like literally chips and motherboards and nothing.
Your last moments with Tommy. Tell me.
I don't remember anything.
I think you do.
The sound of him. It stops because everything else does.
We'll say hello again. You keep breathing.
This is like kind of working through his trauma too, honestly. Because that would be terrifying. Your whole existence just unraveling and not understanding why.
Keep your eyes closed, no matter what.
You can't keep him. So where does he go?
I don't know. I can't find a place.
Don't give me that. 120 bodies empty out every minute.
Damn! How do you know those numbers?
The people, the family, there's no one to love him. He's got no one. Agatha, am I killing this boy so my brother can live?
Oh, damn. She gave him what he wanted, so he left. Okay, Agatha.
Sometimes boys die.
So it's her son's hair in there, isn't it? You know, by that token, Billy could bring Nicholas back. Is that a seed? It's getting dark as hell in this room. Why did that crack happen between them? Water for the seed. That's smart.
No, I need more time. I need more time.
I don't think the road really takes orders like that. Agatha has been miserable this whole episode. The first time we've truly seen her that way. I thought it was a dandelion seed. Wow, it went through its whole life cycle already? Okay, damn, all right. I don't think it needs that much dirt, though. It's just a little seedling. Well, apparently yelling works.
Congratulations,
That cackle is great.
I want my prize.
But you didn't give her the boy.
Do I?
That's why. Ooh, that effect!
He was supposed to surrender himself.
Oh, what? That detail?
Death by 1,000 cuts.
Hell hath no fury. You broke up with her the meanest way possible, too. Why is my man always out here? Go back in your house right now.
Spell this evil.
You're calling me evil?
I mean, a little bit.
And you love me.
I think that's past tense.
You are a coward.
And she calls you a coward.
Hit the deck. Nice! Thank you, Lilia. You owe her. That is such a great zoom in they just did there. Oh my gosh, did your boy come back for you? Or was it Jen? What's happening? Shut the front door! Okay, Billy! Okay! The fit change! He said mess with me, Dad! I dare you! This is an upgrade from what we had on the road. The little crown was kind of cute, but this is better.
Don't take it all.
Stop. Stop now. Okay, Agatha, please. Show some restraint. I beg. So why can't people who are doing it not stop? That's the part I don't get. I guess the way her power works, they can't stop it. Well, bye, Billy. Not that fit change. Oh, look, we can show restraint. But God, did you have to take him within an inch of his life?
One of you stays with me, the other walks free.
Oh, he's coming back. Witch fight! We've been waiting all season. Everything looks good. Stay out of this fight, Billy. This is between women. Just this is not a fight for you. Oh, we're a little rusty. Billy still has his telekinesis, though.
We can't fight death.
You sure? My mom did.
It should be me.
It should be, though, actually. She's been around for like a while, sir. You're 16.
You're not bad.
Neither are you. I'll go with you. That's my choice. Take me.
Take him! You heard him!
I thought you were.
You thought it was going to be an exchange?
I'm a covenless witch.
The fact that that rhymes with son of a clever. He can make lines.
I know you can hear me.
Oh, not him projecting.
Is this how Nikki died?
Going for them heart questions. Take the distraction, Bill. Take the distraction, Billy. That is the slowest fall that has ever happened. This is rivaling K-dramas right now. Oh, at least it's soft. Thank you, Rio. Yeah, she would be bones immediately. Oh, well, thank you for giving back to nature, Agatha. Damn, not even bones, dust. I don't understand Rio's thing, though, because if Agatha got to the end of the road and passed her trial, she shouldn't have had to die. And the deal was outside of the road, so things are not making sense to me here. God. You look awful. You know you can bring her back, Billy. Anyone can, it's you. Just gonna walk around in that outfit in West. Actually, you know, this is the one place you can walk around in that outfit and no one's gonna bat an eyelash. They're all like, do we need to be worried? No, the hood makes it look even more suspicious. My man. He's like, this neighborhood, I need to move. The fact that his car has been parked here for God knows how long. Although I don't know what time's like on the outside. Maybe it's only been like a night. I'm glad we changed back before we got home.
Oh my god.
Okay, how long has it been? Okay, it's been more than a while. Okay.
No, you're not. Look at your face.
I'm gone in 24 hours. What happened?
24 hours, okay. Rocky Horror Picture Show. Buffy! I never saw that poster before. It's poster Wizard of Oz right there, yeah. So many Easter eggs on these posters now. Wizard of Oz again, Green Witch.
That's exactly how I pictured it.
Suits you.
Huh. How did he know what it would look like?
You didn't think you would want to know?
Unless the Witch's Road manifested it like that for him.
The ability to turn all of your
Goals into reality. Leaves for like the road, the Witch's Road leaves look like that on the ground. I think he's realizing he manifested the whole road.
Right off your vision board.
He manifested the whole road.
Gosh, you really are a Maximus. Otherwise,
The road was for Billy. It was always for Billy.
You're so much like your mother.
And what did your mother do? Made something out of nothing. She created life. It was you. Whose voice was that? Hold on. I think it's Agatha's voice. I think that's Agatha's voice. I mean, obviously the subs are not giving anything away, but I'm pretty sure that was Agatha's laugh. We've heard it multiple times throughout the series. All right, guys. Well, that was a great episode. That was really, really good. I still like the last one a little bit better, but this one was really good for kind of putting it together that this whole journey, the walk on the Witch's Road, was Billy's journey. All the other Coven witches, sadly, were just fodder, sad to say, for this journey of Billy. And again, the magic, maybe I'm misinterpreting this, but I'm taking this to mean that Billy's magic did all of this. Because remember, he knows it's there. He knew he had power, but he didn't know how to use it, and he never knew how it was going to manifest itself. But I think it's been going this whole time, in the sense of we know that Wanda has creation magic, and I think we can infer that Billy to some degree has that as well. Maybe not as powerful as Wanda's, but it's definitely there, because I believe he literally created everything in the Witch's Road. It was all based on Billy and his references. I mean, the trials were unique to the witches on it, but it was all from his imagination. Or again, now I'm kind of wondering if it's because maybe that's how he saw it. Maybe they saw something different, but I doubt it. I think he manifested the entirety of the Witch's Road. Like what was on it, it came from him and not from any of the other witches, which is crazy. But it shows, I mean, Billy's no joke when it comes to power. I think we all know this now. But let's go back to the beginning here. We have, understandably, Jen extraordinarily upset over the fact that Lilia is gone, because we know they shared that beautiful moment just before she did her trial where, Lilia was like, you're my sister in the craft. Like, we have a connection here. And I think that if Lilia had lived, they would have actually continued to be really good friends. But because they're both lonely, right? Like everyone in this coven, with the exception of Agatha, is lonely, right? They're not necessarily happy to be covenless. But anyways, we see that Jen is understandably upset over Lilia's sacrifice, and she's explaining it to Billy because Billy doesn't understand why she would do that. And again, just reminding Billy of what Rio is and how Rio works, and just the fact that Lilia must have known that this was coming for her. And actually, before we get into that, we got a little bit of Alice again, which I don't know, a little part of me was kind of happy, like a little teeny flicker of hope that maybe, just maybe, she was okay. But no, we got to see why Rio did not join Agatha on the road when the girls got tossed off and everything. That's the reason that she wasn't there for any of that, was because she was there to ferry Alice off. And that, heartbreak. There was a lot of like heaviness in this episode, to be honest, which beautiful, but still heavy. The whole thing with Alice looking at her body and being like, that's all I get. Like, I finally got my life back and that's all I get. Like, and then Rio, of course, about to be a little bit, not even a little, very unempathetic there, being like, the amount of times I've heard that. But, that's I think if there was, an afterlife, if that's what one believed, that would probably be the question a lot of people would ask, like, especially if you're very young. Like Alice, we don't know how old she was, but I think it's safe to say she was far from a natural death. And again, we know that witches live a long, long time just because of their magic. But anyway, hearing her say that, and then, being like, this isn't fair. Like I had more to do. And Rio simplifying it, unfortunately, in a way that hurt, but was true, where she's like, well, you're a protector, you're a protection witch, and you died doing what it is that you do. Like, maybe it wasn't the timing that you wanted, but this is your destiny. Like, this is what you were destined to do, and you did it. So I think that was a bit to kind of give Alice a bit of solace. I mean, obviously it was still gonna suck. She didn't want to die, but I think she felt somewhat better knowing that at least she did something, like she fulfilled her her purpose as a witch. And then we see that basically Rio takes her beyond the veil, the green veil that she's got there. So I'm sad. I mean, people were wondering for certain if Alice was gone. I think that's pretty much our note, that she is gone. But is she? I mean, this is the world of Marvel. Anything is possible. And again, we know that Wanda and potentially Billy have got the ability to do whatever they want and break the rules. So I don't know. I think that if Billy really wants to, he probably could bring Alice back. Should he? That's a different question. We see now that, his existence is already a problem, but we'll get to that. Anyways, so we'll jump back because I think that's a really beautiful moment to touch on with Alice and how sad it is for her to recognize that that was how she went out, but I don't think she's that sad about it. Like, if there's a way to go, that's probably one of the better ways rather than dying at the hands of a curse. And going back to Jen and Billy, they get a bit, they're upset. They're trying to figure out what's going on with Lily. But anyways, going back to what happened just after the trial, we see that Agatha looks terrible. Actually, she's out of there. She looks like she's been crying. And I think this is interesting because if you remember back to the last trial with Lilia, Agatha didn't seem that upset. She seemed like she was just impatient and wanting to get through the trial for the sake of getting through it. So when she comes out of that, the fact that she's visibly upset, looks like she's been crying, I think that, the whole trial itself is starting to get to her. And I think there's a part of her that's a bit sad that Lilia went. And her and Rio have a very good conversation where basically Rio is like, you know, you're not doing so well. Like, are you sure? Like, look at all the bodies I'm collecting. Aren't you, you know, you promised that you would do that. Are you happy you're delivering, sort of thing? And Agatha kind of tries to keep up the, you know, the glib attitude she typically has, but it's pretty clear that she's not happy about this. Like, I think she is upset that Alice is gone. I still maintain she didn't mean to take Alice's power that badly. I do think she just was her body was just so craving that magic that she just didn't even think that, oh my gosh, I'm doing too much. And especially now seeing the way it was with Billy, I don't, like, she needs so much, you know what I mean? It's actually not like she can take like a teaspoon. She needs quite a bit to be able to do something. So anyway, I think that it's just the emotional toll the road's gotten up to her a bit. And I do think she's more human than what her reputation is. Let's put it that way. She's more human than what her reputation is. And we have confirmation of that in that we hear Rio ask her, why do you let people believe the things that they do about you? Right? Which I take that to mean that Agatha does not have a good reputation. She's known as the woman who sold her kids. She's known as the woman who doesn't care about anyone. She's known as the woman that will sell out the people who are supposed to be closest to her for power. Like, there's a lot of really nasty rumors about her that basically center or boil down to her being an incredibly selfish, narcissistic person who's not capable of caring for people. And I think we can say that's not true. She clearly loved her son very much. And I think, you know, we see even with her trial when people were like, oh, when her mom was screaming at her and people were like, oh, like maybe this is what she deserves, or, you know, but then it was Rio or Jen? No, it was Rio. Rio was like, you know, your mom, you know, the reason why Agatha turned on her coven is because her mother turned the coven against Agatha. And if you look at the flashback from WandaVision, they were like, she was begging and she was like, why are you doing this to me? Like, why is this happening? And her mother was like, this is what you deserve. So we didn't get the context, right? We have no idea what led up to Agatha being in that place, but I think we can believe that Agatha genuinely felt betrayed by her coven and definitely by her mom. And I think that the trial also showed us that Agatha and her mom have never been close. So that's just a lot. Like, we could go, honestly, I could spend a good 20 minutes waxing poetic about why Agatha got to this place. But the point being that Rio pointed out a very good thing, that Agatha has a reputation that is not 100% true. Has she done some pretty bad things? Yes, I think at this point she's definitely leaned into her reputation a bit, but it's not that she's completely incapable of caring for people and doesn't. I think at this point she does keep barriers up though, because so many people think so poorly of her and she's been hurt before, so she kind of does keep people typically at arm's length so that she doesn't have to risk being hurt again. But anyway, so she says to Rio that the truth is too awful. That's the reason she'd rather the lies, because she feels like the truth is too much. So we still don't know what that truth is, and I wish we did around her son, but I do think whatever it is, she clearly carries a lot of guilt about it. So anyway, that happens, and then we hear Rio say that the real reason she came to the road is not because of, you know, the Seven or anything like that. It's because of Billy. She figured out that there's something special about Billy, which is what Agatha also figured out. And she was like, you're trying to distract me from him. That's why, you know, you were doing everything you've been doing down here, but I need him. And you see that the reason why she wants him is because Billy is an anomaly, just like Tommy was, right? And they talked about this a bit in WandaVision, but Wanda literally created their souls from nothing and put them in, created bodies actually from magic. They are not natural humans. Let's put it that way. They're not a naturally occurring life. They are life, but they are not naturally occurring. And so that breaks the rules of what a green witch would believe, right? We heard Jen say the green witch is, you know, birth, life, decay, and death. Like, it's a cycle. It's supposed to have a cycle. Whereas with Billy and Tommy, they did not follow that cycle. They first of all did not come about the natural way. And then remember in WandaVision, they literally they skipped whole growing periods, right? They went from babies to 10-year-old, or was it babies to 5-year-olds, and then 5-year-olds to 10-year-olds, right? And so they're just not a natural phenomenon is the point. Like, there's something that is outside of the known cycle of life, and therefore, and then on top of that, really what the real issue is, like, that part I think Rio and everyone else could look away from, but where the rule breaks came, and we heard Wanda say that, not Wanda, I'm sorry, we heard Agatha say this a couple episodes back, that Billy broke the rules by finding William's body and taking it and getting a second chance at life. Now, I argue that because was it really a second chance at life? Because truthfully, his life was like it didn't come about normally anyway. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not like he cheated death, really. Like, his mom just took the material away that he was housed in, right? So I know I don't want to get into this because this is not real science, but you get my point. It's just like, I don't think that Billy falls under what Rio is saying either, but I get the fact that she's saying William was supposed to die that night. She was cheated of a body because William's soul is gone, but there's no body for her to collect. So there's a break in the pattern. And she's like, we, meaning I guess the cycle that she represents, they need to get Billy and they want him to surrender himself so that she can hold the soul so that he cannot pop into another body. And so basically Agatha's like, all right, I'll strike a deal. I think I can convince him to willingly go with you. But in exchange, I want you to basically GTFO my life. Okay? She's like, we're done. Like, you've been stalking me for a while now. I broke up with you a long time ago. You keep popping up and it's just, it's kind of toxic. I just want you to actually go. Like, I never want to see you again. And even when I eventually do cack, I don't want you to be the one to grab me. Send somebody else. Send the intern, send the secretary. I don't care. I don't want to see you. So basically, kind of the worst dumping ever, but it feels like it's not the first time Agatha's dumped her. But also mixed signals, because a couple episodes ago, she was trying to make out with her. So, I understand why Rio's a bit confused, but digressing. So this is what she says. This is the deal she proposes to Rio, saying, you don't come for me, you don't take me, because Rio did come, remember, way back in episode 2, she came for Agatha. She's like, him for me, basically. And so Rio's like, okay, fine, deal. You can convince him to come with me, I'll let you continue to live. So that's the deal that's made before they're rejoined by Billy and Jen. They start to head out to the next trial, but they realize they're back at the beginning of the road where their shoes were. I thought it was a really great callback with having the shoes there. And Billy basically says, okay, well, we took off our shoes to respect the road. Maybe we need to put them back on. I mean, he did it for more of a screw you, I'm a teenager way, but either way, it's a good thing he put them on because it ended up being the trigger for the next trial. And we see that it was technically Rio, right? Like it's interesting because people kept saying it would be a witch, but I'm like, Rio's the only one who would need one, but she's not part of the coven. So I don't really think it was Rio's trial per se. I think it was Rio's house, but I don't think it was a trial for Rio. Rio had nothing to prove because she wasn't technically part of the coven. And Jen had already had hers, and Billy was also not part of the trial, or part of the coven. So I think it was very interesting that, this is my interpretation, I could be wrong, but I looked at it as this was the final, okay, you've gone through all the trials, all the witches that were in your coven. Now, this is the final trial to see if you can get what it is you came for, so I can let you out of the road, right? So we see that it's Jen, it's Billy, it's Agatha, and they don't know because there's no instructions left in the road, right? We see there's just a big timer on the roof, which is really cool the way they did that clock visual, and no instructions. And so interestingly, we see that Jen is saying, I want to protect you too because I couldn't protect Lilia, I couldn't protect Alice, I didn't try to, I've been very self-serving, and now I want to be better than that. And I think that's a really important thing to note about Jen, because someone in my comments rightfully brought up the fact that Jen has had a bit of a journey that's been a bit understated in all the theatrics of the show. And that right back to episode 1 and 2, Jen was very self-serving, right? Everything was about her, getting her power back, rescuing her reputation. And in the first few trials, she was very self-preservationist, which I was 100% for. That's the black in her. She can't help it. I'm kidding. But you know how we be in these situations. We don't be necessarily trying to rescue everybody, okay? We about rescuing ourselves. We put the mask on ourselves first, as they say in the plane. But anyway, that was the way Jen was in the beginning. But this episode, we see she's actually like, I am prepared to do what I can to protect you, Agatha, who I can't stand, and Billy over myself, which that's huge growth on a character level for Jen. And I really like that they managed to put that in there for her. And we see that Agatha shook. She has no idea what triggered this, but Billy is touched. And anyways, we start going through everything with Jen talking about how she was bound, she's here for her power. And we see Agatha starting to push at Jen, but how? How did you lose your power? That doesn't make sense. A non-magic user shouldn't be able to bind you. Are you sure that he did bind you? Or maybe something else happened? And we hear her say, you know what? It's true. He didn't take it. I gave it away. And remember, people have been saying from the beginning, you're either unwilling or unable to use your magic. So anyway, we find out through a whole thing that Agatha actually sold whatever it was to the man who bound her. Like she basically sold her spell to bind her. So that's why he didn't actually bind her. It was Agatha indirectly. And I mean, that sounds like something Agatha would do. But like she said, like, well, he wasn't malicious. I didn't even know who he was binding. He just said he needed to bind a witch. So I gave him something to bind a witch. So very Agatha, very sad. But either way, we see that, you know, Jen jumped into action and immediately did the unbinding spell. And we see at first that Agatha was kind of, and I think the way they played that moment, I have to give it highlights and snaps because it was a beautiful, beautifully done scene of when Jen is, you know, repeating that you have no power over me over and over again. And at first you see Agatha refusing to make eye contact and kind of doing her whole flippant thing. But then when she hears the emotion in Jen's voice, she finally makes herself look at Jen, and you see the connection that's happening there. And I genuinely think that Agatha felt for her in that moment. The 100 years she was screaming about being without her powers, I think she genuinely felt bad for her in that moment. And she basically allowed Jen to take her power back. So it's just a beautiful little moment. I mean, neither of them would ever admit how beautiful it is, I'm sure, but I love the way they played it. And then again, I'm sorry, the actress's name slips my mind, but Jen's actress did a beautiful job of just showing how she could see how she felt whole again. And just kind of, the tears were both joy and probably also a bit of a mourning for how much time she's lost with her magic. And yeah, it's pink magic, cute. Anyway, so that happened. And then we see that she immediately is taken off the road because her objective on the road was to get her magic back, and she did. So, and it leaves Billy and Agatha on the road by themselves. And so Billy's kind of like, okay, why did she leave? He gets the explanation. And he's like, what do you want? Like, basically it comes down like, she's like, I want my magic back, duh. So she's like, you can blast me with your magic and then I'll get magic, you know, that might work. And of course he's like, no, I mean, that's going to end up, you know, taking me out and then I don't get what I want. So she's like, okay, if that's the case, then let's get you what you want. So she sits down and basically tells him, sit your butt down. I'm going to tell you how you use your magic and what you have inside you to find your brother. And that was a really cool moment too, of how she walked Billy through finding the connection with Tommy and basically following it. And I was saying in the episode, and I maintain that I also think it was a bit therapeutic for Billy because he's not had any time to process what happened with Westview and his whole uncreation, so to speak, and losing that connection to his brother and losing his mom and losing his dad. Like, a lot went down. A lot went down when that barrier disappeared, and it's understandable that he has a lot of trauma around that, and how Tommy was so much his, when he said that Tommy was like my feeling of safety, that was just a beautiful thing, and understandable, right? Because no one else in the world will understand how Billy feels, right? Being the anomaly that they are. So anyway, we see that he found Tommy, and apparently, now this is the part I'm not clear on. The vision that he had of the boy in the lake, did Billy cause the boy to drown so that Tommy would have a body? Or was it happening anyways and Billy watched it and he was guiding Tommy and telling Tommy to take the body because he was about to die? That's the part I don't get, because we heard Billy ask right before the road sent him off is, am I making this happen so that Tommy has a body, right? Because I love that Billy's been morally questioning himself for a while around this whole situation. Even when with the tarot cards asking, am I Billy or Tommy? Or sorry, am I Billy or William, right? So I do like that about Billy's character, that there is still some moral questions happening. But anyways, I thought that was really cool. And I'm not sure which of those things is true that I just described, but maybe we'll find out in the next episode. But anyhow, that happens. He's off the road, and that leaves Agatha and not a lot of time. And then we see that she beautifully talks about how, you know, sometimes boys die. Like, she told Billy, well, she tried to tell Billy when he disappeared, that it's not his fault whatever happens. If Tommy ends up in that body, it's not because of anything he did. Those boys bullying that boy was their doing. Anyway, but then she just says, yes, sometimes little boys die. And obviously she's talking about Nicholas. And now we know that the hair inside of the locket is Nicholas's, and she's been keeping that with her, understandably. But there's also a seed in there, a dandelion seed. And we see that she figures out that she's got to plant it because, you know, she does, you know, out of death, or what did she say? Out of one ending, there's always a new beginning. And so that's what she does. She plants it, and it's supposed to be the end of the trial. And she gets out, but we see that Rio is waiting for her because she broke their deal, right? By giving Billy the ability to get what he wanted, he technically could have left, right? He could have just been on his way and left Agatha, So again, showing that Agatha is not the heartless person. Harkness is not heartless, let's put it that way. And so anyways, we see that Rio's like, okay, well, if I can't have the boy, then you broke our deal and I came here for your soul anyway. So what's up? Let's do this. And also she's extra mad because, you know, Agatha did break up with her rather coldly. Anyway, they have their little battle, witch fight. It wasn't as, I would have liked a little more. I could have taken a little bit more, but it's all right. They have their witch fight, but Billy comes back because Billy does care about Agatha. And we saw that touched on earlier in the episode when Jen asked him, like, why do you keep trying? Like, what is your attachment to her? But I do think that Billy feels a kindredness with Agatha. Maybe it's because Agatha's misunderstood and he feels a bit dark right now because he is stealing another boy's life and he's been keeping the secret for 3 years. But anyway, he comes back looking fabulous in the new outfit. And, you know, he's got that telekinesis, which thankfully is not magic. So that's his mutant power. He's able to toss Rio around like a rag doll a bit, but he does end up giving Agatha a boost of power, at least enough to defend herself. And there's a bit of a fight, but in the end, Rio's like, I'm deaf. Like, you can't hurt me enough to keep me from coming for you. So Agatha at one point tells him, like, we can't fight her. Like, let's just give up. And he's like, all right, I'll go. You leave Agatha. I'll give myself up since I'm the anomaly here. And then as, you know, Agatha kind of says, all right, cool, bye. Which I don't think was 100%, you know, her being like, I don't care. But either way, Billy uses his telepathy and asks her if this is the way that Nicholas died. Is it basically, I think he was asking if it was Rio who took him. And we've definitely heard that, right? Because even that earlier conversation I was referencing, they talked about the fact that Agatha considers what Rio did taking and that she didn't give her anything. So anyway, it's enough for Agatha to decide to go back and basically choose to go with Rio. And so that happens. She literally decays on the spot, and we see that Billy is absolutely at a loss because he didn't expect that to happen, and he's just been through a lot, and Rio tells him he's free to go at that point. So he goes back home, and we see that in his room, all the pieces of the road, like what made up the scenery and the tapestry of the road, was already in William's room. I mean, I don't know how much that was William versus Billy, but a lot of that stuff has been there since William was in there. But either way, I interpret it to mean that he created the road. Like, the road as it was because of Billy. So he says it was me at the end. And again, it was me refers to creating the road, or the situation that ended up with, you know, with everyone ending up the way that they did. I'm not sure what the it was me is for, but we'll find out, I'm sure. And then we hear a disembodied voice, and it grabs his attention. So yeah, very, very interesting episode. I do like the way they kind of wrap things up. I'm so happy Jen survived. At least one of the other witches survived. Thank you, Lord. I mean, of the ones that were picked for the coven, obviously Rio was never going to go anywhere, but I'm very thankful we didn't lose Jen too. I was scared we would, and I'm glad. I'm hoping that means that we'll get to see her again at some point. I'm hoping she makes it through the next episode, Lord. But anyway, great episode, guys. A lot of discussion here, but I feel like I said, it was a very heavy episode. Beautiful, but like very emotional. Probably the most emotional episode we've had, and I loved it because it gave a lot more depth to Agatha and her character and the complicated relationship she has with Rio, but also this equally complicated connection she has with Billy and vice versa. So I'm looking forward to the last episode. I hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, please show some love, and I'll see you in the next one.